Are you somebody that puts the hard work in up front, or you want to start off each and every time with new ventures, new experiences, with easy work? Because that could totally transform the way that you receive things from how you go after them. So, welcome to Break and Build, where we take a break from your day to build your life in a positive way. I'm going to be your host, Billy Lutz, and today what we are going to do is we are going to get after. One of my favorite things is going to be putting the hard work in up front, paying your dues up front, and getting into everything you want to do at a much faster speed of rate. So if we think about it, guys, we are all here on Earth. We all have 24 hours in a day. We all have the same amount of minutes, the same amount of seconds. How do some people get more things and some people get less things out of life? And I am convinced that one of those reasons is because there are certain people that understand that everything has a price. Everything has a price. Everything has a cost. And oftentimes, the people that get the most out of life are the people that are willing to put hard work in up front. That is going to pay off in the end. I'm going to use a very personable example of this, and that's going to be my Pokemon Go YouTube channel. If you guys don't follow my Pokemon Go YouTube channel, it's going to be The Trainer Club on YouTube. So when I was first starting this, I saw two very different spectrums of what I was getting from what I was doing. I started off not putting hard work in up front. I started off, I kind of like was feeling a little entitled, like I was going to be really good right off the bat. Like my first video was going to be amazing. Just as a lot of us think, we're going to jump into something and it's going to be so good and it's going to be so easy. It's going to be so sweet. It's going to be like eating a fresh picked organic nectarine right off of a tree. It's perfectly ripe. As soon as you pick it, you know exactly where it's going to be. The first time you grab it, you bite it and you're like, wow, this thing's amazing. In reality, what happens? You grab that nectarine sitting in the tree, you bite it and it's hard as a rock because you don't even know how to look for a ripe one yet. Think of that as a new venture in your life. That's what happens, guys. It's like we start something and the emotions of starting it and like this whole concoction of what's going, at least this is how I break it down. Maybe you guys are different. I'm like, oh, it's going to be easy. It's going to be fun. And then like that stuff wears off in about like 2.5 days. And then you're smacked with like, okay, this is going to have to be integrated into every single day for the unforeseeable future if I actually want to do this. So then everybody questions, do I actually like this activity? So you actually have to like the activity up front before you start getting into something that you glamorize the outcome of. Like everybody glamorizes being a celebrity. Everybody glamorizes being a really, really good elite athlete. Everybody glamorizes all of these things in life, but when you actually see what the day-to-day is of all those things, it's a lot different than what you think it is. There's a lot of hard work, a lot of dedication, a lot of sacrifice. And it's not so much sacrifice to these people because they're on par with what they want to do, but to you, it may seem like a sacrifice. Like, oh, you can't spend every single night at dinner with your family anymore. Ooh, that's a sacrifice for you. But to them, it's just, that's what it is, right? It's their life. That's what they want to do. So I want to make sure that we're all on the same page, that we're putting in the hard work up front and we're paying our dues up front and we're not getting smacked with a humongous tax due bill at the end of the year or at the end of the project or wherever we're at in our life, because there's nothing worse than going into an experience, not paying your dues up front, and then getting hit with, okay, this is what it's like. So what happened to me for my YouTube channel is the first couple months, I would say from October all the way until April, which is a long time. That's about 5 months right there. I was just kind of like, I started and my first video was terrible. You can even go back and see I've never taken down a video. It was just bad, man. It was just really, really bad. I was unemotional. I wasn't into the things that I was into. And I just, in my mind, saw what I see myself as right now when I'm watching my videos. That's what I thought I was going to come across as when I first started. And let me tell you, that was not my reality. That is not how it came across. That is not what happened. Actually, what happened is I was just super monotone. I wasn't really talking very fluidly. It was choppy. I wasn't making good eye contact with the camera. I wasn't conveying my message. The energy wasn't even coming through me as I anticipated it to. So I then kind of fell out like, oh, wow, I know that this is going to take a lot of work for myself. And I kind of like made a video here and there, went to California, which is where I'm living right now. At the time, I had absolutely no way to ever get to a place to be able to afford to be living in California at the time. And I was just like, man, I came back from California and something just snapped in me, and I was like, dude, I don't have anything else going for me. Like, I'm doing nutrition and personal training, and that's just not exciting for me on a daily basis. I just don't really like that type of energy and, being confined to a specific place, and I can't be me. And being me means like I have my own schedule, I own my own life. It's all riding and falling on my shoulders completely, and I realized that. And then I was like, okay, I understand right now I'm making $0 on YouTube. And I understand that I'm probably going to have to put in the same amount of work, if not a little bit more right now, than in the future when I can potentially make money. And so think about your life in terms of this right now. You're earning $0. I was earning $0, and I was having to put the same amount of effort, essentially, maybe even more effort in upfront, knowing that I'm making $0 right now, but at some point it could become something in the future. And that drove me. I even remember, rest in peace to Andy. We all, maybe you follow my YouTube channel, put our CAC turns into our buddies because of my friend Andy. I remember him asking me specifically, I think we were on a raid day, and he was like, dude, how much money are you making on your YouTube channel? And I was like, $0. And he's like, dude, that is stupid. And I was like, in my mind, I just laughed because it sounded stupid, but I just knew in my heart that if I gave it enough consistency, that it was going to become something. And I don't know what that something's going to be. I don't know if it's going to be $1,000 a month, whatever that is. I know that I'm going to eventually at least make dollars, eventually make some dollars. And it was also at the time where like Pokemon Go was just like down. It was like barely any raid bosses. Like raid bosses weren't out yet. Like they just had come out. Like the game was dead. There was no trading. There was no lucky friends. There was no, friend boosting buddies and anything. Like all the features were missing in Pokemon Go. It was like, to everybody else, it was a dead game. And for me, it was like, I was still having fun doing it. And I knew that if I'm having fun doing it and I can at least transition the way I present information better up front, I can start getting there. That's why I want you guys, whatever is right in front of you, I want you guys to take a moment right now and just think like, what is really exciting for me right now? What do I get up out of bed effortlessly to do? Maybe it's your job. If it's your job, you're hitting a home run right now and you don't even realize it. Or maybe you do realize it, but maybe it's not your job. Maybe it's, Pokemon Go. Maybe it's cooking. Maybe it's spending time with your kids. Maybe that's a sport or an activity or photography or whatever that is. Something that's like, you're like, dude, this is going to happen tomorrow morning, 6 a.m. You're not a morning person and you are up at 5:30 flat, ready to go. What is that activity to you? And what can you do if it's not something that you're able to monetize? Maybe you don't want to monetize it, and that's perfectly cool. But like finding that activity that lights you up is super important for us because we're all unique individuals and we all have that ability to just create whatever I want. And not everybody wants to be an entrepreneur, and that's totally cool. But I think everybody's after happiness. Internally and externally, whether you think you are or not, whether you're sabotaging yourself or not, whatever that is, eventually you want to achieve happiness. So how do you get to that happiness? What is that going to be for you? How do you get there? It's about putting the work in up front for whatever it is. Maybe it's a relationship that you really want. You want a better relationship with your spouse. How are you going to get there? Put the work in up front right now. You don't expect things to be different without sacrificing certain things right now to make yourself better. You want to start today. Today's the day to put the work in up front, to know and feel in your gut that whatever you want, you can make happen, but you have to pay your dues up front, meaning you don't have this twisted view of reality that one day, someday, by just doing a minimal amount of effort each and every day, that thing will come into a reality for you, because that's not how life works. You're always going to have to put in work. You're always going to have to sacrifice something for something else. There's often times on the weekends that I will be doing content, that I will be at an event, that I can't do things that my normal friends that work 9 to 5s do, because they pay their dues during the week. I pay my dues differently. I want a different life. I don't want to be shackled during the week to having to work from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. and then I'm free working on somebody else's time. I just know that that's not congruent for me. I'm 100% certain of that. I've done it for many years and it didn't work. And I know I'm still young, but like I've been through a bunch of careers. I've been personal training. I've done practicing nutrition. I've worked in accounting. I've worked as, we had our own business, lawn mowing. We had our own clothing business. We did a gaming business. We also did a bunch of different things. I've babysat. And it was always when I found that I could make, I'm not always on my own time, but I could make my time my own for the most part, was when I felt the most fulfilled and free. And for me, being fulfilled and free is very important for me. I would have, and I do, give up security based on my freedom, right? And when you think security, like I'm going to show up at 9 o'clock, 5 o'clock, and I'm going to make the same amount of money each and every day. Unless something happens where my boss decides, I don't want you anymore, or you're not good, or you made a mistake, or whatever that is, you have that consistency. I don't have that consistency, but I'm okay with that because I understand myself a little bit more. So paying your dues up front for whatever it is. What is one thing in your life? It doesn't have to be a job. It doesn't have to be income. It can be a family thing. It can be a hobby thing. It can be, I want to get really good at photography. I've always been drawn to this, to skateboarding, to, lacrosse, to hockey, to rollerblading, to whatever it is, arts and crafts, cooking. Find that one activity. I know you know what it is when I'm talking about this right now, and start to put in more effort up front right now, because it's going to pay off in the long run. Not only that, you're going to start training yourself to put in that effort for whatever it is in the future for you, because we're always growing. There's always new things being presented to us. There's always like, if I want this to happen, I'll give you another example. For my YouTube channel, I always thought that Harry Potter would come along, Pokemon Go would be dying out. I would grow a little bit of a following from Pokemon Go, and then Harry Potter would just explode, and I would be able to jump right on there because everybody, of course, would be switching from Pokemon Go because it's a similar game to Harry Potter. But I knew that if I did that, I was going to have to go like completely all the way in and get completely obsessed as I did with Pokemon Go so that I could be as good as I am at Pokemon Go at Harry Potter. But that never happened. Harry Potter never came to be what it was. Like I saw it at first. I made a video and I was getting a lot of pushback from a lot of my people. And I'm very aware of my comments and everything that's going on because I want to make sure that I'm satisfying my viewers. And I'm going a little bit beyond that to try to attract a different genre of viewers at the same time. And so I saw the pushback and I was like, I'm just going to chill for a second. I'm not going to go all the way in, because I don't want to piss off my current thing, because I saw that Pokemon Go was still going a lot stronger than I had anticipated. And a lot of Harry Potter was like, it was so new and nobody really knew what was going on. So I was like, okay, I'm just going to like chill and see what happens, because I knew that I'm either going one of two ways. I'm either staying with Pokemon Go or making a new channel. I'm going to have to go just as hard at Harry Potter as I am with Pokemon Go. And I wanted to see, is it going to be sustainable and worth it for me to do that? And so I watched it for a week, 2 weeks. I saw some people start to play, and then I already starting to see it fizzle out. Like Pokemon Go was not like that. It was like gung-ho. If the game didn't have bugs, I'm pretty sure that like 50% of America and the world would probably still be playing Pokemon Go, at least on occasion. But that doesn't happen because of whatever happened. Nobody could have anticipated how crazy of a jump that was. Like that was nuts what happened there. So now, go all in, pay your dues up front, put the extra work in up front, get obsessed up front with whatever that scenario is for you, because you know that it's going to bring you more joy in the long run by going in all in and starting to trade yourself that like, if this is going to be it, there's no reason for me not to go all in, because if I do go all in, I'll at least know very rapidly that I don't like it. Like I don't enjoy the actual process, because we're ultimately after the process of what we're going after, as opposed to just getting the end thing, because the end thing is never an end thing. Once you get to that end thing, you get to your first 100,000 subscribers, you're like, I wonder about 200. It doesn't stop. You get to like a really good place in your relationship, you're like, I wonder like what happens if we're like twice as good as this? Once you get into that mentality of like, I'm always going to be improving, I'm always going to be taking that next step to the next level, it never stops for you. And it's never a stopping point in the process unless you want to go to a different process. Life is a continual process, and you're always going a little bit more sprints to marathon, sprints to marathon, sprints to marathon, like, ooh, I got new knives, go hard, chill for a little bit. Oh, I got new pans, go hard, learn about them, use them, master them, chill for a little bit. Oh, I'm going to start learning how to cook in this specific way. Go hard, chill a little bit. Right? Like that's always how it goes. And so if we can put all of our work in up front, we can master all the things as much to our ability and put as much effort in as possible, we can start making massive waves in our lives, and we can start really transitioning ourselves from put your feet in the water. And I'm not saying to spend a lot of money up front, because I don't agree with that. I agree with making use of the most that you have right in front of you to the best of your ability. For me, my YouTube channel, I have a cell phone. Everybody has a cell phone. I used my cell phone until my content demanded and paid for my camera. It wasn't like, oh, I'm gonna start YouTube. Oh, well, I need a $1,000, $2,000, $3,000 camera. I need my new microphone. I need a new stand. It was like, no, I have a stand. I'm just going to buy an easy cell phone stand to put my phone in there. And then I'm going to jump right in. And that's what I did. And so what can you do to your hobby? Maybe you have to invest a little money. Maybe your friend has something that you can borrow. Maybe you can go out with somebody that you can see the process. Maybe you want to start working on cars. Find a friend, or find somebody that you could say, hey man, can I like chill with you while you work on this car to see if it's something that I'm actually into, to see what the work looks like. And find that for you. Put the work in up front, because I know it's going to start changing your life, and you're going to start making a different type of mental process of what actual success starts to take for you to get to that next level. Because I know you all have it in you. I know you've probably experienced it multiple times in your life, and maybe you didn't realize that that's when you put the most work in up front instead of waiting till the end, and then realizing like, man, I could have just made this process go a whole lot smoother. So thank you guys for tuning in. Share this episode for anybody out there that's looking to put the work in up front, or maybe struggling. They're just trying to like dip their feet in a bunch of stuff, and they're just not understanding where they're at in their life. So I appreciate all you guys for being here. I hope you guys have a marvelous day, and make sure to take a break from your life on a daily basis. Tune in and get the most out of your life. So I'm going to see you guys out on the next episode.